Welcome to 2009-2010 Tide Talks at the Florida Aquarium, sponsored by Wachovia Foundation. It's my pleasure to introduce our speaker. If you could introduce yourself and let people know a little bit about you.
Sure, I'm Margo McKnight. I'm the Executive Director at the Wildlands project. I'm a native Floridian and I love the Florida Aquarium.
Wonderful. Could you describe a little bit your background in conservation?
Sure. I grew up being, I think, a conservationist without knowing it, spending a lot of time outdoors. But I just loved the wildness of the world, and as I went to school and learned through university, and my careers have been wonderful in zoos and aquaria, and now at the Wildlands Network, which is actually doing conservation all across North America.
Wonderful. Now you also have a background as an artist. Could you talk a little bit about your background in art?
Sure. I have always painted and drawn since I can remember. In fact, they had to push me off the kitchen table so we could have dinner. So I've always done it, and I've always taken advantage, no matter where I was, of being around people that could inspire me and teach me, but also taking courses at university and other schools. So a little bit of self-taught, a little bit of actual structured teaching.
Wonderful. Now, how do you see your art and your science and your conservation ethic working together? In other words, how do you bring your art and your science together to create powerful messages and impacts?
That's a really important thing to learn, and a task that lots of people, I think, are getting now. But to just know information, even very important scientific information, isn't as valuable if you can't pair it with communications that actually reaches out to people to take action. So communications, art, you don't just communicate with printed words. So kind of creating this entire package is really important.
Wonderful. Now, we talked a little bit about art and conservation and the messages. What are a couple of key messages that you would want to share with our public that are important to you personally?
I think the very most important one is that every single person has a role and can be very powerful in making change happen. And it's easy to feel like you don't have the ability to make change, and you do. So empowering people, and a lot of that is knowledge. But the second thing is, once you have this information, to network and connect with others. So connecting with others, creating a network, we can get this done.
Wonderful. If you were to encounter someone who said, boy, I really want to make a difference, but I don't know where to start. You talked about networking. Are there any other strategies or techniques that you might share for someone who wants to be involved but just doesn't know what that first step should be?
Yeah, part of it has to do with personality. Some people are real forthright and just head out on their own. Right. But every community has opportunities, and they're often around things like an aquarium or a zoo or universities or schools, even libraries. So once you get the bug and want to do something, reaching out to your community, the places that gather people, and it's a place for people to learn, is probably another really good next step.
Fantastic. Well, that sounds like a great strategy. Is there anything else you'd like to share with our audience?
Just that the Florida Aquarium has been such a great addition to the Tampa Bay area, both for conservation, for people to come and have a great time, and for learning. It's a really important job that it does for the community.
Well, wonderful. Well, we appreciate your support, and we thank you for being here.
Thank you.